Hey everybody, and welcome to Frankie's DIY Life. I'm Frankie. If you've never been here before, this is a channel all about upcycling, recycling, redoing, reusing, re. So I don't like to waste stuff. I like to use stuff that I already have or repurpose stuff. So that's what this channel is all about. If you like this channel, hit that subscribe button, that like button. I appreciate it. Today, I am going to make not an ugly Christmas sweater, but I'm going to make an ugly Christmas jumper. An ugly Christmas jumper. You know what I mean. But I don't know. It all depends on how ugly it turns out. If it's not too ugly, and then it'll be a nice Christmas jumper. So let's get started. Okay, so here's my material I'm going to be working with today. Not really Christmas material, but favors Christmas material. I guess I could pretend like those are presents. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be working with today. And so I'm going to spread it out on my table. And I am going to be using, I'm going to be tracing a jumper that I already have. So, and I hope I got enough material. Let's see. All right, I'm going to be using this existing pattern. And I believe the video that I made using this pattern was how I made a bib overalls from a shower curtain. I think that's what it was called. But I will try to link that too under my description. But anyway, if you remember it, that's it right there. So I'm going to be using the same pattern for my Christmas jumper. Okay, let me lay it out. Okay, I've got it on my material. Of course, it's bigger than my table is, but I've got it pinned on. Now, this is the right side of the material, and so you go right sides to right sides. This is the right side of that other piece, see? So you're putting it right sides to right sides. It's doubled in two, and so now I'm fixing to cut it out, and I'm going to give myself about a 1/2 inch seam allowance. It just barely did fit. So I forgot to tell you how long it is. So this is how long it is. It's 32 inches, so that's folded in half at 64. Okay, got them all cut out, and now I'm fixing to turn them face to face. This side right here, face to face, and then I'm going to sew them down. Got to get all the pins out first. All right, so I'm taking this piece off. That was my pattern. This is my front. I'm going to take that off. So now what I'm fixing to do is turn these right sides to right sides. And I am going to start at the top and just sew down to the crotch. Okay, so I've got them sewed. Now I only sewed them from the top down to the crotch. Here's the crotch. So now I'm fixing to open them up. See, this is my back. And here's my front. This is my front. But here's where the fun starts. So I'm going to take one on the side. So this one is my front. This one is my back. The reason I know that is because I had to mark it because my memory just will not keep up with that. So I put a little dot on it so I'd know that that was my front. So here's where the fun part begins. I have this basket of Christmas stuff. Now here's a hand towel. This is a hand towel. I'm fixing to cut that out. I cut this off of a kid's shirt that I got at the thrift store for $1, so that's worth $1. This I've had forever and have never put it on anything. I don't even know if it'll go on here. But anyway, and then here's something I left out of my picture that I made, and it's snowmen. So I'm going to cut a couple of those out. And then I don't know if I'm going to use this or not, but we'll see. And then here's some doilies, and this is funny. This was a kitchen towel. I don't know if you can, here I'll put it like this. You know what I got for Christmas? Fat. I got fat. I thought that was funny, so I cut that out because it had a stain on it. And then here's just some little remnants stuff. And then here is a runner right here, and I think I'm going to cut this out because I think it's cute. So let me get to cutting. You know, I got an idea for this right here, so I don't think I'm going to cut it up just yet, so stick with me and see what I do with it. All right, so here is my front. Here's all my little goodies that I have cut out. Now, I don't know where I'm going to be placing these yet, but I am going to be using these, and so all over, and I'll put some on the front and some on the back, and so I will get started on placing these where I want them, and then we'll get them pinned on and we'll get them sewed on. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I took this to my machine. I decided I want to use this for a pocket. So I pressed it down on all four sides, and I am going to sew it probably right about here. Now the reason that I'm not finished sewing it together is because once you sew it together, it's hard to get up in here through the leg or through the top to sew this stuff down. So your majority of stuff that you want that's in this vicinity from here down, you want to go ahead and sew on, because it's just a hassle to try to get that up and under your sewing machine. So that's why I'm sewing the bulk of the stuff on from the underarm down, because of that reason. Okay, so I got it all pinned on. Just take it to my sewing machine, do a back stitch up through here, back stitch, go all the way around with a straight stitch. I took this piece right here and run it through my serging machine all the way around. Now, if you don't have a serging machine, use a zigzag. And I'm thinking I'm going to put it on here beside the other one over there for my pocket. And I think if I start right here and just sew down, I'll have enough room to get my hand in. And that can be as a pocket too. Okay, so I know it looks a little busy, and it is busy, but I've got these pinned on right through here, and then I'm fixing to take it to my machine, and I'm fixing to sew them on, and then we can work on the back and then sew my jumper up. Okay, I didn't get to finish yesterday, but I am finishing today. I got sidetracked on another project. That happens to me a lot. Anyway, I've got the fronts and the backs. Whoops, here we go. I've got everything sewn on, front and the back, except what's up here and what's back there. And the reason that is because I can sew that on with it all sewed together. That's the reason I went ahead and sewed all this stuff on, because you just can't get to these areas if it's sewed up. Plus, what I do is I always just do a straight stitch down everything. Then I try it on, and then if it's not fitting or if it needs to be taken up some more, whatever the case is, then I can do that. Now, if I serge it, I'm sort of stuck with it unless I just cut it off, and of course that's making it smaller. So I'm gonna sew everything together, make sure it's fit me, and then I'll serge my seams together so I won't have no fraying. And again, if you don't have a serger, use a zigzag, okay? Okay, so you know I've already sewed up from the crotch up, so from here up. Now what I'm fixing to do is I'm fixing to match it up and under the armhole, through the leg, and I'm gonna sew all the way down. Okay, so I've got that sewed up, each leg. And so now I'm going to start with the crotch. And what I'm gonna do is start right here and start at the crotch and then work my way down the leg this way. Because if I start down here and I get up here and it's off, my crotch is going to be off and you're going to be walking funny. So I'm going to do that down each leg through the crotch like that right there, and sew all the way down both sides. Okay, so I have got it on. Now what I'm going to have to do is flip this over right here. Now this is going to be the part that has either the button or the hole or something to bring it across my shoulder to tie it. I hadn't figured that out yet. But anyway, it has to be folded under. Otherwise, my pockets are big. Gonna be way down here. I need to grow another arm. So once I fold this in, pull it up, then my pockets will be where they almost should be. I probably should have come up just a little hair more, but hey, it's okay. Now, I may see if I can't find one of those things that's already got the buttonholes in them. Okay, here's, you know, from that shower curtain that I had, it's got the holes in it right here. And it's this right here, this type of stuff. It's matching, and the snowmen. I don't know if you can see the snowmen. Yeah, there they are. Anyway, this goes with this, so it should be matching. I'm going to sew this to the top, and I'll already have my buttonholes. All right, so this is my front, and like I showed you, I found these, it's on the shower curtain, and the holes are already in there. So there's a hole right here and a hole right here, and I'm just going to serge it together, and then we'll do the back. All right, for the back half, what I'm thinking is I need to, instead of folding this down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this piece off right here, and then when I get it off, then I can sandwich these straps in between there. So what I'm going to do is take this piece, I'm going to serge this off, and I'll serge this edge. I'll get my straps and I'll put them in there, and then I'm going to put this back on the top, and then that will like sandwich them back in there. Okay, so for my straps, I've got these scraps that's left over from my material, and I went ahead and cut them so they'd be even. I'm going to take it to my machine. I'm going to run a stitch all the way down through there, and then I'll turn them. Okay, so I've got my straps made, and I pressed them, and I'm going to use the seam side, like going across your shoulder so you don't see it. Now up here, I run a serging stitch all the way through because I don't want it fraying. Use a zigzag if you don't have one. And then I'm going to place one here, strap, if it'll stay. And the other strap, I'm going to put like right here. Of course, I'll pin them on and make them even. And then I am going to get, here it is, this piece. I cut this piece off the back, and that already had a hem in it, and then I serged it on this side and then folded it down. So now what I'm going to do is just sandwich that in there just like this right here, and then I'll fold that under, do a top stitch this way all the way around, and then we'll be enclosed. Okay, so I've got the straps on the back, and I've got this on the front. Now I could just pull it up and, you know, do a tie. I could do that. I could put buttons on. And here's the back. But now what I got to do now is I've got to hem this. So I now have to fold that over and do me a hem all the way around under the arm. Okay, I got my two little buttons sewed on, and I'll have to cut the rest of this off. But I wanted to show you my boo-boo. You see them pins? When I sewed them on, I sewed them from this side. So those pins was holding it down, and I got to take it off, just get those pins out. So note to self, remove your pins as you go. All right, got them all on. This is my last couple of pieces. I put this one on, and then I put my sound on the back. And the reason I did that was because it was in the middle of the seam right here. So I wanted to make sure I serged everything up before I put that on. Otherwise, he'd have got cut in two. But anyway, my pockets are low. My pockets are low. But, you know, it's an ugly Christmas jumper, so I don't think it matters. And then I got them hemmed up. So my next thing I'm fixing to show you is my ugly Christmas pocketbook. All right, so you know I showed you this in the beginning. It's a table runner. Oh, it's stuck on something. It's a table runner. I think it's cute. You know, when I had first decided, I thought maybe I would put it up here, which would have been funny. But I didn't use it. Put all this on, and then now I'm fixing to use this, and I'm fixing to make me a pocketbook. So all I'm fixing to do is just pin these two together right here. Right here, like that right there. Then this will be my inside of my pocketbook right there, and all I got to do is just seam up these sides right here. It's going to be quick and simple, but I am going to put me a strap on it, so let me find one right quick. I got this right here. I'll put that on there. I'm fixing to just sew it up down both sides right there, and then I'll take these sides and then I'll sew them together on the outside, And then that'd be a quick and easy fix. So let me do that right quick. Okay, I've got my straps on. I just tacked them on. And then now I've got my ugly Christmas purse. Well, all right. You know what? After it was all said and done, I don't really think it was that ugly. I think it was sort of cute. But anyway, I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. If you're not new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, that like button. I appreciate it. Until next time, I want to say God bless you. God bless your family, and y'all stay safe.